Welcome, my name is Education Mali and I'm a student of Currently. So today's video I'm going to talk about emotional intelligence and education. So let's start our topic with Maya. So,
Hey, hey.
hi Maya, how are you?
Always what?
Okay, so I'm gonna talk to you about something like emotional intelligence and education. So are you ready?
Sounds interesting.
So are you ready for that?
Okay, go for it. I am. Emotional intelligence and education is definitely something we can talk about. What are you thinking specifically?
Okay, so can you tell me what exactly is emotional intelligence?
About emotional intelligence and education? That's pretty broad. Are you curious about how it's taught in schools, how it impacts students, maybe how it plays out in relationships? What's caught your attention about this?
No, I'm asking you what exactly is emotional intelligence. First, explain me this, and we will talk about other things after.
Got it. The basics first. Emotional intelligence is basically being smart about emotions, both your own and other people's. It breaks down into four main parts. One, knowing your own emotions, what you're feeling, and why. Two, managing your emotions, not letting them run your life. Three, recognizing emotions in other people, reading social cues, empathy. Managing relationships, using emotional understanding to connect and communicate. Basically, it's like having street smarts for human interaction. It's different than IQ. You can be book smart, but still kind of clueless when it comes to people. Does that make sense as a starting point?
Okay, so I got it. So can you tell me how is emotional intelligence different from regular intelligence? Like how is different?
Yeah, absolutely. Regular intelligence, IQ, usually means problem solving, logical reasoning, memory, academic skills. Emotional intelligence is completely different. It's about understanding people, managing relationships, being self aware. You can score really high on an IQ test and still struggle to figure out what someone's actually feeling from their body language or lose your cool under pressure. They measure different things entirely. One isn't necessarily better than the other, they just cover different ground. Emotional intelligence is actually better for collaboration and getting things done with people. Does that distinction make sense?
So you mean that it's hard to deal with emotional intelligence and the intelligence, right?
You can't really compare them. It's not a better versus worse thing. It's like comparing a chef to a mathematician. One's really good at cooking, the other's really good at math. Both are forms of intelligence, but they're totally different skill sets. Both emotional intelligence and regular intelligence are valuable in their own ways. Regular intelligence helps you excel in academics or certain jobs. Emotional intelligence helps you navigate relationships, be a good leader, and generally read the room better. Does that make more sense? They complement each other, they don't compete.
Okay, so you are saying that emotional intelligence and regular intelligence are totally different from each other, right?
Yeah, that's right. Emotional intelligence and regular intelligence are totally different. You said kidneys there, which I think you meant intelligence. Emotional intelligence focuses on emotions, relationships, social skills, while regular intelligence is more about mm, problem solving and logic. Totally separate sides of the brain and different skill sets. One doesn't replace the other. They both matter in different ways.
Okay, so can you tell me what is more important, like the emotional intelligence is more important in our daily life or the regular intelligence?
That's a tough question because it really depends on what we're talking about. For getting ahead in your career, especially as you move into leadership roles, emotional intelligence tends to be more important. IQ gets you in the door, but EQ helps you climb the ladder. For relationships in everyday life, emotional intelligence is huge too. Being able to understand and connect with people genuinely. Studies show emotionally intelligent people tend to be happier and healthier too. But for certain highly technical jobs or pure research, regular intelligence might be more crucial. So, I'd say emotional intelligence is more generally important. People's skills matter a lot more than you might realize in basically every area of life. But it depends on the specific context, really.
Okay, I understand. So, can you tell me why is emotional intelligence important in our everyday life? Give me some reasons about it.
Good question. Think about it. Pretty much every day you deal with people, right? Emotional intelligence helps you read between the lines when someone's upset but pretends they're fine. It helps you navigate work drama or family squabbles without blowing up. You use it when deciding what to say to encourage a friend who's struggling, or when you need to explain your point without triggering someone. Basically, it's about handling conflicts, building trust, and having stronger relationships with everyone from coworkers to partners to total strangers. Without emotional intelligence, those things get way harder. Does that resonate with how things play out in your own life?
Okay, so can you tell me that if emotional intelligence can be learned or even just natural?
That's a really important question. It's mostly learned, not just something you're born with. Some people might be naturally more sensitive or self aware, but emotional intelligence is mostly a set of skills that you can actually get better at. Stuff like practicing self reflection, asking for feedback, working on active listening, and learning how to regulate your own emotions when things. Did you mean or not?
Yes, I understand. If they want to relate. So, what are the main components of emotional intelligence?
Emotional intelligence, not impossible. The main components are basically these four things. One, self awareness. Your emotions, what makes you tick. Two, self management, controlling impulsive feelings and behavior. Three, social awareness, understanding what other people are feeling and experiencing. Four, relationship management, handling interactions well, building. Those are the core building blocks. It's basically understanding yourself and other people and navigating how to respond effectively.
Okay, so how does emotional intelligence affect decision making? What are the effect on our decision making?
I think you were asking how emotional intelligence affects us in everyday life and how does that tie into emotional well-being or relationships, right? Emotional intelligence is a really big part of building healthy relationships and experiencing well-being. When you can understand and manage your emotions, you're less likely to have dramatic reactions and more able to handle life's ups and downs without getting totally derailed. You're also less likely to overthink everything or get caught in cycles of and depression when you.
Okay, so can you tell me how does self awareness improve emotional intelligence?
Self-awareness is literally the foundation of emotional intelligence. If you're not aware of your own emotions, like what's actually happening inside you in the moment, you can't manage them. Being self-aware means you know your triggers, your reactions, what makes you feel good or bad. When you understand yourself better, you can catch yourself before you blow up at someone or make a bad decision you'll regret. It's about having that internal map of how you operate emotionally, and that makes everything else way easier. Without self-awareness, you're basically flying blind.
Okay, so I got it.
Does
So
that make sense?
yeah, it does make sense.
Oh,
So
that's really sweet of you to say.
I was
So
curious
many
about.
alleged days.
Why do some people struggle to understand their own emotion? Like they can't even understand their own emotions. How is that possible?
That's a really insightful question. There are a bunch of was Boofer. Thank you.
Can you answer my question and ask you if, why some people struggle to understand
So,
emotions?
thank you. You're spell. Okay. So, why do some people struggle to understand their own emotions? A lot of it comes down to what they experienced growing up. If you were raised in a family that didn't talk about feelings or where expressing emotions was punished, you basically never learned how to identify or label them. Sometimes there's trauma or big childhood stress that actually disconnects you from your feelings. It's like your brain learned to shut them down as a coping mechanism. For some people, it's an almost physical disconnection, like they feel something's wrong but can't put words to it. Plus, many cultures discourage emotional expression, especially in men. Basically, if you didn't practice recognizing feelings as a kid, it becomes super hard to do as an adult. Does that make sense?
Okay, so that really does make sense. So can you tell me, can emotional intelligence reduce stress and anxiety? Does it help in reducing the stress and anxiety?
Absolutely. Emotional intelligence is huge for managing stress and anxiety. When you understand what's actually making you anxious instead of just feeling this vague, panicky thing, you can deal with it more effectively. Like, is it pressure at work, relationship stuff, worrying about the future? Once you pin down the source, you can start problem solving or just practice self compassion. And knowing how to calm yourself down when you start to spiral, taking deep breaths, reframing your thoughts, that's all part of emotional intelligence too. It's like having an emotional toolkit to navigate tough moments instead of getting completely overwhelmed. It doesn't erase stress completely, but it gives you way more control.
Okay, I understand. So, can you tell me how does emotional intelligence help us in our social skills or relationships or improve our communication skills?
Emotional intelligence helps with all of that big time. Social skills, relationships, communication, they all rely on actually understanding how you're showing up in interactions with people. So let's break it down. Social skills, emotional intelligence helps you read room better, catch social cues, understand when someone's being passive aggressive or when someone actually needs help. Relationships, emotional intelligence helps you build empathy and form stronger connections with people instead of being constant. It helps you genuinely listen to what people are actually saying instead of just waiting for your turn to talk. It's like emotional intelligence unlocks clearer, healthier communication in every area of your life.
Okay, so can emotional intelligence make someone a better leader? Tell me about it.
Absolutely. Emotional intelligence is like a superpower for leaders. Being able to understand yourself and manage your emotions shows up as confidence and stability. People look to leaders who can stay cool in a crisis and make clear headed decisions. That same thing applies to relationships too. So, good leaders are able to inspire, motivate, and build strong teams because they can connect with people on a genuine human level. They are able to inspire more effectively because they understand what makes people tick. They are more understanding and empathetic, and they can navigate difficult conversations without alienating others. Emotional intelligence really is what turns a manager into a leader that people actually want to follow.
Okay, thank you. So you make me understand it well. So,
All right, you're very welcome.
okay, so can you tell me if emotional intelligence is important for student in their daily life or not?
Yeah, absolutely. Emotional intelligence is super important for students, not just leaders. In school, emotional intelligence can help you work better in groups, handle pressure during exams, deal with teachers, manage setbacks if you don't get the grade you wanted, and just generally stay motivated and resilient. It affects grades, how students cooperate, their stress levels, pretty much every aspect of school life. If you're really good at knowing yourself and managing your emotions in these moments, school becomes a lot less stressful and you're more likely to succeed.
Okay, so can emotional intelligence improve our academic performance or what?
Yeah, for sure. Emotional intelligence is actually pretty strongly linked to better grades and academic performance. When you're better at managing stress, staying focused, being self motivated, and collaborating with others, it it sets you up for success in the classroom. Plus, emotional intelligence helps you handle rejection better if you get a bad grade or face tough feedback. Not about having the highest IQ, it's about being able to actually make use of what you know and handle the stress that comes with being a student. It's like all those academic skills don't really matter if you can't stay motivated and focused long enough to use them, right?
Right, you're right about it. So, what role does emotional intelligence play in handling criticism?
That's actually a great question. Emotional intelligence makes a world of difference in handling criticism. Without it, criticism feels like a personal attack that makes you want to shut down or lash out. So, with emotional intelligence, though, you can hear criticism without completely falling apart because you understand how you're feeling in the moment. You can also separate the feedback itself from who's delivering it. Like, this is what they suggest I change versus this person is trying to tear me down. Plus, emotional intelligence helps you ask clarifying questions instead of getting defensive or shutting down the conversation entirely.
Okay, so can emotional intelligence help us during these stressful exams? And if it does help, how does it help? Can you explain that?
Definitely. Emotional intelligence really shines during high pressure situations like exams. Think about it. You're stressed, anxious, maybe even panicking about messing up. Emotional intelligence helps you recognize those feelings instead of pretending they're not there. And once you know what's going on inside, you can use that knowledge to calm down, deep breathing, positive self talk, whatever works for you. Helps you stay focused and centered so your nerves don't just completely overwhelm you during the test. Plus, when you get the results back, whether they're good or bad, emotional intelligence helps you process your reaction in a healthy way instead of getting super down on yourself.
So I see it's helpful in a stressful exams. So, does modern technology reduce emotional intelligence, or does it not, or help us?
It's a really complex question. And honestly, probably goes both ways. On one hand, technology can create distance in relationships and reduce opportunities for real life social interaction, which can definitely hinder emotional development. When everything's filtered through screens, it can make it harder to read nonverbal cues or connect on a deep level. But on the other hand, technology provides lots of new ways to connect, communicate, and learn about others, even if it's through different media. And there are apps and tools that specifically target emotional skills now. So it really depends on how we're using technology rather than technology itself being good or bad.
Okay, so I understand it, and I wanted to ask you the last question. That what would a society look like if most people had very high emotional intelligence? Answer me this, and we will end our talk. Okay.
That's a really cool question to finish on. If most people had high emotional intelligence, I think society would be pretty different. There'd be way less conflict. People would understand each other better and de escalate before things got heated. We'd see better leadership because leaders would be more empathetic and inspiring. There would probably be more trust in institutions since people could read sincerity better. I also think creativity would flourish because emotional intelligence helps people tap into their feelings as well as analyze situations objectively. Basically, it would be a more collaborative, understanding, and like human centered world where people focused on building each other up instead of tearing each other down. It's definitely something worth working towards.
So, so you mean that it
Hmm.
would be more better if people had very high emotional intelligence, and it would be a better society. They would make a better society, right?
I agree. A more emotionally intelligent society would definitely be a better one for everyone. It's easy to picture, isn't it?
Okay, so thank you for talking to me, and let's end our call here. Okay, bye. Bye, and thank you for answering my questions.
Of course, you're welcome. Sounds good about your suits. That's great. Take care of yourself, Suha.
Okay, bye. Let's meet in our next call. Bye bye. Thank you.